or perfectly. And I think that hill will let her know what she's capable of today. And I think that regardless of what happens as far as whether she can make it up that hill or not, this ride is going to happen, and this experience is going to happen, and we're each going to hit some goals and hit some walls today. Definitely, it's going to be a day of difficulties and tragedies and new beginnings.
When Brian hits here with the boys, he's going to break off and come and get me and Brett in the trailer, and then we'll get back on the road. And then we'll catch the boys, and then you'll be free to go back and forth between the two.
And the RV is going to be where?
The RV is going to stay with Nancy.
Oh, so Nancy will have coverage as well?
Yeah, they're going right now to get Nancy.
Okay.
So as soon as we can get the RV unloaded, that's where they'll be.
Brad and Pat, late but raring to go, returned to the point where they stopped the night before.
Well, that decision was made in the hot tub. She had it in her mind that she was going to do as much of today's leg as she could, and she wanted to start from the point that we stopped from last night. And I kind of did the math, put it together, and told her that I don't think you've got a good shot of making today's journey at the pace that you were doing for the past 6 days. I think you should seriously think about leaving maybe a little bit closer to Vancouver and give yourself a better shot at it. And she was pretty adamant about doing it, so that meant she had to leave earlier. And I told her, well, Pat and I gotta rest. We can't, be sleep deprived after what we went through yesterday and expect to do the longest leg of the journey today. So we're gonna get some rest and leave at 7:30 or 8 or whatever it is in the morning that we left. And Brian came up with a very amicable solution of two parties. It gives her the opportunity to complete her dream of doing this journey, and it gives Pat and I the opportunity to complete it as well.
Well, I thought it was going to be better weather, but that's all right. It's better. Maybe it's better that it's not 33. But I think this is what I was expecting. We knew that the hard stuff was really done, like the Coca-Cola, the Rogers Pass, the Kicking Horse. The really hard stuff was done. There's going to be a couple climbs still, but it's kind of, our little victory. It's our, we're going to make it. We're going to get to it. There's no question anymore. We weren't necessarily setting out to make it to Vancouver on a certain time. Unfortunately, with things like these, you do have to set up times and you do have to try to organize things, but we were doing it, to get to Vancouver. That was the point of it, and I think we're going to accomplish that, and that's great.
My trip distance so far from this morning is 109 kilometers in 4 hours and 21 minutes, which is pretty good. And my average speed was 25 on the dot, and my maximum speed was only 61 kilometers today, so I'm slowing it up a little bit. But what I've been doing is I only allow myself breaks if I hit little goals, like if I, by 10:30 a.m. this morning, hit 100 kilometers on the dot, I would get a break. But I checked over at 10:30, it was 99.98. I'm like, no! So I kept going for another half an hour to get the 110, and I'm not quite at 110, I'm at 109.08, but I saw David. So I pulled over and I don't care. There's no muscle at all. Like, I can't use it, but the painkillers are definitely doing their job. I want to get to Vancouver in just a couple hours. David said he just saw the boys. I guess they're just outside of Hope. They're way back there, but they should probably, if they're pumping it, they should probably catch up, hopefully, like around by the time I meet the police escort.
Yeah, we do. We'd like to catch her. We'd like to be there, but like it is, it's the way of the road is, you deal with what comes at you, and you get there when you get there.
It's been a hard 6 days. There's not much, 6 days on the road, nothing really left in the tank, as every country song goes. But we're kind of tightening up with our teamwork, and we're taking turns pulling each other along down this highway. And we'll do 10-kilometer sections where one of us will lead, take the brunt of the wind, and the other guy can be drafting in the back and kind of take it easy. And then the next 10 kilometers we'll switch up, and we're breaking it up like that and just making really good time, averaging 30 kilometers an hour since we left this morning, and we're looking pretty good. I thought maybe we wouldn't make this 4:30 window, but if we keep going like this, I know we're going to get delayed, but we'll get there tonight.
This is AM 730. All traffic, all the time. The only radio station completely dedicated to traffic. Give us at least 5 minutes several times a day, and we'll give you everything you need to know in traffic.
It's 2:50, 10 minutes until 3 o'clock. 18 degrees in Vancouver. Good afternoon. I'm Nikki Reitmeyer in the AM 730 Traffic Center. Here's what's happening in traffic right now. Not a very nice way to start off your long weekend. We have some big delays on Highway 1 westbound. You're going to find at the 192 exit, a chicken truck has gone into the ditch. Traffic is stop and go from 264th. It's just a parking lot. You're crawling along, and then you're at a standstill. Then you're crawling along, and then you're at a standstill. The 192nd on-ramp to Highway 1 has also been blocked off. 88th, we're hearing that is very, very slow going. And don't take the 237.
Nancy, with great effort, has made it through the traffic jams, accidents, and scattered chickens, and arrived safely thanks to a police escort. Her son Kyle, in red, and others keep a watchful eye for Brad and Pat. But when it becomes apparent they will be greatly delayed, the post-ride party continues inside the hotel. As the afternoon light begins to fade, Granville Street begins to beckon travelers of another kind. Outside, Brian Bailey and the circus have taken up position on a street corner. As they entertain, they are in turn entertained, and when the crowd spots Brad and Pat, they are greeted with a cheer. Late, tired, but here. The team is together again, but this is no reunion.
I love you too. Goodbye.
Who was that?
That was my mom.
Did you tell her about the trip?
Yes. Well, this is my father right here, actually.
Hi, what do you think of your son?
Oh, I'm very proud of him.
Yes?
Very.
He actually surprised me. I didn't know he was going to show up here. Yeah.
Can I buy you a beer or what?
Each rider has, individually, come to the end of their 1,000-kilometer journey. They may still be chasing the same goal, still trying to achieve the same result, but all three riders will pay a heavy price for their efforts. They're no longer a team, and may never be again.
I think it was 100% successful. Just from the people that stopped us along the road, the people that we met, the people that were thanking us, the people that were saying it's about time. The popularity of autism, I think we've managed to increase somewhat. The amount of phone calls that I've received over the last few days, nonstop, from even towns that we didn't stop in. Like we got on a newspaper in Chilliwack, right? We didn't even stop in Chilliwack, but I mean, it's been something that I think a lot of people wanted to see coming, and the fact that we've now done it and actually raised the awareness for it, and I mean, we've done everything we can. I think it was a huge success. I really do. I think people now know what applied behavioral analysis is. I think people now realize it needs to be in Medicare. I think people now realize that autistic children aren't going anywhere, right? As much research is being done on it, treatment needs to be facilitated for these children. It has to be done. And I think with 3 completely different people and the crew of 11 that came out and did this with me and going through, excuse the term, hell, I think it opened up a lot of eyes.
It is worth it, but what made it worth it on day 8 wasn't what I thought would make it worth it on day 1, if that makes any sense. I think that the journey kind of evolved into something different than I thought it would, and in the end, it was a great growing experience for myself personally. I think I've kind of maybe taken a bit of a step forward as a human being, and got something from it. And I think that I didn't really realize I was going to achieve that when I first started out.
What happened? We biked to Vancouver. People pulled together, worked as a team. People didn't. Some people did, some people didn't. We biked to Vancouver. We were in situations that were stressful, but got through it, made it through. And the phrase I came up with on the road was, every climb is worth its descent, or worth the descent. Every climb is worth the descent. Yeah.
There was very many people upset with me for leaving the riders, and the worst thing I think is finishing an endeavor like this is having about 4 or 5 people come and scream at you, and that was rough. But I can understand emotions are up to about here, and thinking back at it yesterday now, I think that, you know what, everyone got here safely. Everyone had a really good time last night. Everyone's got a half smile on their face today. And I think everyone should be proud of themselves. I think the group of 11 that took on this endeavor, every single one of them should be proud of themselves, and I think they'll take that with them forever, and I'm honored to have been a part of it.
Oh, I think something will come of it. Yeah, it was a new experience, and it was great. I was riding with 2 great guys, and I saw myself as a bit of a, okay, here's an opportunity to help them out in a different way, so I tried to take the lead as much as I could and draft for them. I just tried to support them, keep bitching to a minimum, keep my head down and go, That was what I was thinking when I was giving her,
Oh, I was irate at points, really. I mean, you'd never want someone who hasn't been training riding in a 1-foot shoulder next to semis, especially another person you're spending the rest of your life with. It's different when it's other people's husbands. Right, you don't realize how terrifying it is until you realize something really bad can happen, and it's someone that you really want around for at least another 20 years.
Even with my brother being autistic, it's any opportunity to support the cause to help people who deal with autism or who have autism is something that's certainly special to me. And then, there's more than just that for personal reasons. So, Pat's my best friend, certainly want to come and help him out, and he asked, and it, it makes sense that it's, the Western Ride for Autism. It makes sense that I should be on this, I think.
It started off as a ride with 3 people, and it turned into a ride with 11 people.
As a band, we certainly took financial hits on it. Like, it certainly wasn't for gain. I'm sure we kind of got some promotion out of it, in a sense, just getting out there in a bit. But we were certainly supportive of the whole thing as well.
I think that anytime we spend time together with people that we don't know, and that we don't know at an intimate level, and suddenly we're thrust into an intimate situation, and we're thrust into a situation where our bodies and our minds are being pushed, I think ultimately what happens is we have conflict. And to think that they were going to get through this whole thing without any would be a really romantic idea that just doesn't exist.
The chicken thing caused so much delay. I had friends that were supposed to be here. We had probably close to 10, 20 people show up around 7 or 8 because they were stuck in traffic. Me arriving, not everybody was able to see me arriving. Fortunately, we got some amateur video of that, and hopefully can show you guys. And I'm a little regretful of it. A little bit. I would have liked to have ridden over the finish line with the boys, and I'm glad I finished it. But and I'm glad I went back up the Coquihalla. But, you know, I think it'll be fine after about a week or so or whichever else. I think everybody just needs some time to reflect and realize the magnitude of what they've done. Like, it's even rolling into Vancouver, and without the boys yesterday, it just didn't feel like, it was great to see my family and friends, but it just didn't feel like the accomplishment that it would have been.
I've heard a lot of figures thrown around, and I don't really know what is the right figure, so I'll let the bean counters worry about that. But I think more importantly, we've raised awareness. You know, where there was none, we brought that to the forefront, and I think that is ultimately what's more important.
I'm seeing actually a doctor on Tuesday morning, and they're scheduling surgery right away to repair my quad.
Well, I said to the guys last night, I said I wish that we were doing the Canadian ride for autism, like doing this right across Canada. Like, I think it was a really, to me, I totally would do it again. I mean, to me, this is what life is about. This is why, for me, it's so important. I always say every experience is a learning experience, whether it's good or bad. There's something to learn, and I learned a lot more from the bad experiences than the good. So I'm really happy to have any kind of experience and figure out what I can get out of it, right? And so along this trip, there was lots and lots of good experiences. There were some bad days and there were some good days, and I thought it was really cool the way that the whole thing played out and the way that everybody found their place, right? Like, yesterday felt like, you know, like when we got to the top of the mountain, to the summit and dropped the boys off up there, and I said, you guys, today is a Western ride for Brad and the Western ride for Pat. You guys just go, right? And everybody, I think yesterday was the day where everybody, the day before that was the day that everybody hit their wall, right? And then this last day, everybody figured out a way to get their ride done, right? And I thought it was really cool to watch how that all unfolded. And that's what I said to you at the very beginning of yesterday. I said, I don't know where today's going to go, but it's going to be really interesting. And it turned out really interesting, and everybody found their way of getting through their ride.
Everyone who came along for a reason. We all played a part and a role in making everyone get here. Some people got here differently than others, but I mean, we're here, and now we can all just sort of wash our hands from it and wait for the movie.
It's for the children, it's for